feel like the worst thing you can go through is through life alone. You know, not being supported or loved by the ones you really looked up to or respected. But getting the different expectations. Like those who were supposed to be there for you, they aren't there for you in the way that they should have been. And that hurts. It's painful, right? And it leads you to feel hopeless. It leaves you to feel not okay, to feel broken. And then this society makes you put up a facade like you gotta be somebody that you're not. Like you gotta be the hard one. You gotta be the tough one. You gotta be the strong one. But inside you wanna scream. Inside you wanna yell and give everything you have. All the pain. You just want it to go all the way. Talking real deal. Going crazy. Like your mind playing tricks on you. Like you feel like you're not enough. You feel rejected. You feel abandoned. You're feeling so much is going on. And a lot of us has managed to put up such a high wall, put up such a high standard that we forget that we're going through something. Like we the way we choose to cope, it makes it feels like that pain is away. It makes it feel like those feelings aren't there, but it's building up. And it just like builds a strong hedge, a strong protection to where nobody can hurt you, nobody can break you. But in reality, you're really needing somebody to come through and hear you, to come through and see you, to come through. We can't go to the ones that we thought was truly there for us. So it's like we gotta hold all this in, and we battling with voices in our head telling us we not enough, telling us, making us feel rejected, making us feel abandoned, making us feel like we're incapable of love, making us feel like we're incapable of being pleasing, of, living up to what people are trying to get us to live up to, measure up to somebody that's quote unquote smart or quote unquote educated, quote unquote rich, something like that nature. And so it's like, because of that, we end up building a wall, like a hedge of protection, like 6 feet back away from me type thing. But in reality, we just like, if you step a little bit closer, if you just hear me just a little bit. So it's like, you can't even go to the ones you thought you could trust, that you thought had your back. Let's just say it's family. Let's just say it's your parents. You trying so hard to feel accepted. You trying so hard to feel love, but they don't hear you. They don't understand you. You try to express yourselves. You try so hard to measure up, but you can't, because it's so much restrictions. It's so much rules and regulations. It's so much requirements to be perfect, to be a child that represents the family, to look good. So it's like you dealing with judgment and criticism, so you hold it all in, and you fighting, you battling voices in your head telling you you're not enough, that you'll never measure up, that you'll never do good, that you'll never be good, that you're not smart enough, that you can never go and start this business or go and do that, type stuff. And so you battling, going through mental torment, and just making you feel as though, like, that's where that hedge of protection comes in, because you start to be closed off. You going through all of this, but you start to choose different coping mechanisms, and you soon start to feel like, oh, I no longer feel this way, or oh, I'm accepted now, or I found people that I can cope with, that like me now, or this I no longer feel suicidal when I'm here. I no longer feel unaccepted when I'm here, when I'm there. But it's like you still got the hedge of protection saying, hey, if you just step a little closer, if you just open your ears a little closer, you'll hear what I'm really trying to say. If you just see me a little more, if you just see the person that's hurt on the inside, if you just come a little closer, you'll really get to see that I'm crying out for help. But we'll never show that side of us, because we continue to battle. And then it's like how you were raised, how you grew up. It's like you choose a whole lifestyle different from how you were raised. You go to the whole other end of the spectrum just to feel loved, just to feel accepted, just to feel approved. You go and choose something that's way out of pocket, other than how you were raised, how you were taught back at home, just to search and fill that void that's in you, that's telling you you're not loved, that's telling you you'll never amount to anything, that's telling you that you're not enough. So it's like we'll go from growing up and learning, to cope with a book. We'll go on the other end of the spectrum and cope with a blunt. So instead of being able to cope and talk to our parents, we'll go and grow up and learn to cope and talk to a girlfriend or boyfriend through sex. You weren't raised properly. A lot of people, it all depends, but if somebody wasn't raised properly, 9 times out of 10 in the future, they'll learn how to raise someone else properly. And that's the whole goal. Like, we are here to become different beings from the past. Like, we're here to break through the past and overcome ourselves so that we can learn how to treat people with kindness, treat people with love. What we didn't get, we can go give, even if we don't receive it. That's the whole goal of living, like becoming a better person, so that the other person don't gotta go through what we went through. And yeah, it sounds a little bit selfish, like, hey, how come she don't get to? How come they don't? How come? But it's like, you at the end of the day are winning because you are doing something that somebody else refused to do. You are picking up the baton that somebody else dropped. Right? So it's like you get to run that race. You get to finish that race and get first place. What I'm trying to say is what has happened to us a lot of times is not our fault. We come into this world, and the truth is we coming into a sinful world, so we gonna get sin back. We gonna get death back. We gonna get diseases back, because it's just how nasty this earth can be because of the pollution of sin. Right? But then it hurts when we got people that's being judgmental, people that's criticizing, people that's judging you for picking up a bottle because you're going through something, people that's judging you for picking up a blunt because you're going through something, people that's judging you because you got a gun pointed in the camera because you're going through something, you battling something here. But no one wants to come to hear you. No one wants to come to see you. No one wants to come to understand you. So you continue to push yourself away. You continue to isolate yourself. You continue to hide yourself because no one sees you. And then it's like those who are quote unquote supposed to be God's people, quote unquote supposed to be God's chosen child, quote unquote supposed to be Christians. Them the ones that becoming the worst. Them the ones that be stepping the hardest. Them the ones that be Bible thumping. Them the ones that come with the whole 10 commandments ready for you to perform for God's love. But God is just like, you ain't got to do all of that. He see you. He understands you. He knows you like the back of the hand. He knows every single hair in your head. He understands why you got that bottle. He understands why you laying down with those people. He understands why. He knows the whole reason of why you went out and did what you did. And he just saying, take my hand. He just saying, let me heal you. He just saying, let me love up on you. Stop trying to earn my love because I'm giving you my love. Like, why we gotta sit up here and perform for God's love and keep these commandments and these laws and without first coming to know who God is? So many people got a false image of God. He came down on this earth and he represented himself. And he just like, I understand you because I was rejected too. I understand you because I was judged too. I understand you because I was looked down too. I understand you because I couldn't express myself too. I couldn't be myself too. But because I know that God was on my side. But because I know that God was my father. But because I know who I am and whose I am, I had the power and authority to tell these people to get thee behind me. I had the power and authority to tell these people that I got God. That can't nothing separate me from his love through Jesus Christ. So it's like, because you sit here trying to break my heart, God is mending my heart so he can keep forming your mouth against me. But God is for me. Who can be against me? So you can sit here and make me feel like I don't got hope, but Christ is my hope. You can sit here and judge me all you want to, but I'm justified by faith through God. You gotta have faith in the one that God sent as his only begotten son in order to have a relationship with. See, the whole key, the whole purpose of us being here is to get closer to God. It's not to perform to God. is to obey God. But obedience comes when you have faith in someone. You can't just listen to someone that you don't know. You can't just obey someone that you don't know. You're going to sit there and look at somebody crazy. They tell you, get down on your knees. Who are you? Who are you to tell me to do this if I don't know you? Type thing. But out of respect, out of fear for God, you are going to obey him. And that comes when you have faith in him. You got to have faith in the one that God sent to be his only begotten son that died for you and your sins. Okay? It doesn't take all of that to be loved by God. He already loves you while you are sinning right now. He loves you. And he wants to take you out of that. But you can't sit here and stay in your sin and say that you love God at the same time. You can't do that, because someone who loves God keeps his commands, and that comes when you come to know that God loves you. We sit here, and I'm only saying this, y'all, because I wouldn't be telling you nothing that I ain't went through myself. Having to perform for love, having to look good for love, having to be enough, having to perform and continue to measure up and do this, it caused me to fail every single time, and that's what led me to sex. That's what led me to drugs. That's what led me to alcohol. Those were my coping mechanisms to get through life, because I thought I was just destined to die. And in reality, we all destined to die. But there is hope. There is eternal hope. There is eternal love. There is a prize at the end of this race. But when we don't come to know who God truly is, because people are blinding us, because people are judging us, because people are criticizing us, well, we sit here and we feel like this is all we good for. Death is all we good for. Evil is all we good for. But that's not true. That is not true at all. You sit up here, you putting up a wall. But behind that wall, you crying you a river right now. You really shedding tears on the inside. You really fearful right now. You afraid. You really need somebody to love you. You really need somebody to hold you. You really need somebody who leads you, who wants to guide you. You really need somebody that's capable of handling you. But that wall is there. And you've been a crowd that you don't even fit in, becoming somebody that you're not, all because can't nobody hear you. All because can't nobody see you. Don't nobody understand you. Don't nobody want to hear what you got to say. You're nothing. But God is just like, you mean everything to me. God is like, I want to lead you out of that. God is like, I want to take you here. God is like, I want to show you who I truly am. Stop listening to these people who judging and being critical and look up to me. You got access to me. Pray. Say something. A lot of people that's going to choose to stay in the dark. It's a lot of people that's going to choose to sleep with their demons. It's a lot of people that's going to choose to stay in that torment. It's a lot of people that's going to choose to keep playing with fire. It's a lot of people that's going to choose wickedness over righteousness. It's a lot of people that's going to choose to choose evil over good. But still expect good to come to them. It's a lot of people that's going to choose left over right. But you know who you are. And you know what you're supposed to be doing. And you know who your Father is. And you know who God is. And you know that He is with you and He will never leave you nor forsake you. And you know that with Him, darkness will never overcome you. And you know that with Him, He will always deliver you from evil. And you know that with Him, He will always accept you back. And you know with Him, He will always love you enough to change you. Enough to transform you, enough to correct you, enough to mature you.